a.m. 9 a.m.
13th.
9 a.m. This will be for final plea. Question mark.
Question mark. I can't waive her right to a trial.
Understood. Hmm?
You want on the jury trial or your CRT?
CRT calendar.
So that's September.
Oh, September?
Yes,
What day?
That date is the 10th.
So let's change that. August 10th,
August.
September.
September 10th,
Sorry, Your Honor.
September 10th at 9 a.m.
24, 9 a.m. Ms. Smith?
9 a.m.
9 a.m.
All righty. Perfect. Thank you, Your Honor.
All right. You have a good weekend. Take care.
Yes, you too.
All
Bye.
right. Ms. Falk, good morning. Position number 5. Lynetta Bruce, I verified. She's on reserve training. So we're gonna reset it to August 10th, 9 a.m. or September 10th, 9 a.m.
That's military.
Okay. Who's hosting? Mr. Glanville, do we have folks in the waiting room?
No, Your Honor. There's nobody in the waiting room.
Okay. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Judge Law, and this is going to be the ORCA final plea or trial calendar for our citation cases. I'm going to do a brief roll call to see who is present, and then we'll get the announcement for the case, for the matter. Preston Andrews? Who's your, stand up when you hear your name called. Who's your attorney? Okay. How do you intend to proceed with the charges brought against you? I'm going to give you a chance to speak to the prosecutor. Somebody's phone's going on? Oh, that's okay. Milan Arrington? Did we reset this case? All right, we're gonna hold for Ms. Kurt. Kendall Bass? Kendall Bass? Jax Bastien?
Here.
All right, who's your attorney?
I don't have one.
Do you plan to have one? Apparently not.
Really?
Going to give you a chance to speak to the prosecutor. Shalaya Latrice Carter West. Malik Corbett. Malik Corbett. D'Angelo Cruz. D'Angelo Cruz. Dennis Murphy is his attorney. They're not present. We're reporting this all to DDS. Andrew Haley. Garrett Hembry. Maybe I'm the only one who got the invite. Okay, Devin Johnson.
Your Honor, Alvin Kendall here on behalf of Mr. Johnson.
Yes, sir. And how are we proceeding? Would you like to speak to?
Yes, Your Honor, and I have a case over for Judge Cox, so I'm gonna run over there and make my announcement and come back.
That'll be perfectly fine. Thank you. Just
Thank
please let your client know that you've not left the building.
Yes.
Thank you. Lorenzo Levine.
Good morning, Your Honor.
Morning, sir.
Attorney Kevin Mooney with George Stein's office. Mr. Levine is standing in the back row. We have received a revised offer from the solicitor's office in the last few days. Client's not willing to accept that. We've actually filed some particularized motions that we would need to be placed on a motion
All right.
trial calendar.
No, there's no more resets to the trial calendar, but have a seat. We'll address that.
This is the first time we've had court in Fulton County.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay. Lady, or maybe it's Liddell Trishawn Logan. Liddell Trishawn Logan. Not present? Okay, that's for positions 13, 14. Hector Lopez. Hector Lopez. There you are. Who's your attorney? You have to have a seat down there. You can, all right, behind you, next, behind, yeah, perfect. Okay, I'll give you a chance to speak to the prosecutor. Johnny McDonald. Okay. Mr. McDonald, who's your attorney? All right, give you a chance to speak with the prosecutor. Cordell McKeever. Not present. Kazimali Momin. All right, who's your, Eric, Scott Fortis? All right, I understand Mr. Fortis is tied up in Gwinnett County. Right, we'll reset this case to September 10th at 9 a.m. You're free to go. Antonio Navarrete, Attorney Daryl Coleman. Is that PD's case?
Yes, Judge. Just my announcements for all of the public defender office cases. These cases have had a previous court date in the division, April 8th of 2024. This case was already set for a plea and arraignment with Judge Mather. Judge, we're asking that not to have a bench warrant issued this
They're
morning.
all scheduled for judgment?
Well, at least in position 19, and I can go through the other positions who
Okay.
have previous.
Let me
dates.
check on that and then I'll consider it. George Ramirez Torres. Jonathan Rivera. All right, speak to the prosecutor. Thank you. All right. Deontay Rowe. All right, who's your attorney?
Andrea Boyd.
Andrea Boyd entered in an appearance July 23rd of this year, Judge.
Where is she? Want to call her? Step outside? I don't have a, do we have a LOA from her?
Your Honor, I was told that she called the court to,
That's why I'm confirming, but if you want to step outside and call her. River Salos?
This is also a public defender case. The previous court date was in April 16th, a waiver of arraignment and demand for a jury trial. Also today, there's a conflict in, I believe Mr. Salos is in Lumpkin County for a court date. All of that's been filed on Odyssey.
Okay,
Your Honor, we actually have in our notes that there has been a request to work this out globally with another case, a speeding case, which the defendant has. And that there is a request to transfer the case to Judge Edie. So that
Yes.
it can be resolved globally.
okay, transfer to Judge Edie, both of them. The other case isn't on the calendar, right? The one that ends with 847Y? I don't see it, so,
Well, we have a 23 CIT 010303 speeding case. That is also going to be worked out globally with this
And
case. And a
Miss,
criminal trespass.
is that the CR case?
Yes.
Okay.
CR ending in 8471.
Understood. All right, all are transferred to Judge Edie. Thank you. Patrick Santos?
Judge, I saw on Odyssey an entry of appearance June 14th by Sean Joseph.
No, it's by Mr. McKilney, who is there on Zoom. Yes, sir.
I'm here, Judge. This is the first time on the calendar. We just received discovery. I'd like to see if I could speak with the solicitor and negotiate the case. I'm also in Trutland County too, Judge, but I'll be able to step out of where I'm at and
All right.
talk with the solicitor.
All right, Ms. Falk will eventually get on Zoom, but right now, please hold, okay?
All right, thanks, Judge.
Patrick Shokpeka. Not present. Miles Shumpert. Razvan Stanescu. Michael Hawkins? Question mark?
I'll give him a call, Judge.
Oh, all right, thank you. Christopher Stokes with George Creel.
Yeah, George Creel, Judge.
All right.
Stokes, we'd like a pretrial at the state.
All right.
What was Mr. Hawkins' case's name?
Oh, you're gonna make me pronounce it again. All right. Razvan
Roswell.
Stanescu.
Ask.
Yeah, middle name Christian, if that helps. All right, thank you.
This was sent with an email waiver of arraignment. They were asking to be put on the next calendar for this case, 27.
Mr. Creel? All right, we got information. This case is gonna be reset to September 10th. It's gonna be put on the final plea calendar. Okay, Xavier Williams? Xavier Williams?
Judge, I see that this case had looks like a plea and arraignment, June 21st, 2024 in front of Judge Dixon. There's also 2 companion cases with it as well.
Ms. Falk?
We're seeing that the attorney on this is Samad Bean. I did send an email to that attorney inquiring whether they wanted to address the companion case and received no response.
Okay, question mark on that case. Tremaine Williams,
Morning, Your Honor, Nicole Moore for Mr. Williams. I'd like a moment to pre-trial with.
all right, thank you. Anyone else who was present but whose name was not called? Who are you? Stand up your name. Garrett, spell your last name.
HEMBREE.
Oh, Hembry.
And Judge, I also have a note that there was an arraignment in front of Judge Taylor, or at least there was a upcoming arraignment on August 27th in front of Judge Taylor for Mr. Hembry.
All right, and who's your attorney?
I had a public defender.
Stand up, sir.
I had a public defender.
Miss Falk?
Your Honor, I just want to point out that, yes, I understand all these cases at some point have been placed on a different calendar. They were consolidated onto this calendar in an attempt to address them today.
Okay. Who's the public defender representing him?
I have no idea, Judge, so that's also, I think, an issue here. There are already public defenders who are made entry on some of these cases, and they also have upcoming court dates in front of those judges.
Okay.
So I'm just trying to see as much as I can do for them today.
All right, Mr. Hembry, you need to talk with Miss Helen, find out who's the public defender, get that person here to speak to the prosecutor. All right.
Your Honor, we do have an announcement on position 8 D'Angelo Cruz.
Yes?
The defendant entered a plea on that case on May 22nd of 2024.
Okay, so that case is closed.
Yes.
Thank you. Any other announcements, Ms. Falk, that I've not entered? Okay,
None from the state at this time.
all right. All the attorneys who are planning to speak to the prosecutor, I highly recommend that y'all congregate in the gallery immediately behind Ms. Falk, and she'll take you up one at a time. The defendants who are not represented by counsel, who want an opportunity to speak to the prosecutor, sit on rows 2 and 3 on this side, so Ms. Falk can call you out.
Your Honor, if I may give them some additional.
Go ahead.
instructions. If you are positions 1 through 15, for the attorneys who may have the calendar, Mr. Deputy Chief Umar Rose will be handling your cases. If you're position 16 through 30, I will be handling your cases. And so we will call you up, if you can kind of just form 2 lines as Judge Law said, and what I'll do is we'll call you up one at a time. Thank you.
And counsel, what position number were you on the calendar? Is that Ms. Falk's or Mr. Omar's case?
Who are you representing?
Levine.
That's gonna be position 12. You'll be with Deputy Chief Rhodes.
Got nothing.
Mr. Rhodes, I'd like to address this case right now. So counsel, if you'd like to take the podium. Okay. Let's see if I can pull up Odyssey.
That's okay.
Who?
To the attorney, they sent 4:50 or 30, just,
In the morning.
no, yesterday, easy, stating that waiver of arraignment, I think it was 2 cases and, Ms. James.
Then we just, yeah, they file a waiver, Raymond, then, yeah, that's Jonathan, there was Jonathan Rivera, right, counsel?
No, ma'am, it's Lorenzo Levine,
Levine, sorry.
23 CR to 006462.
Yeah, sorry. Mr. Rhodes, there have been multiple motions filed in this particular case to suppress and with regards to, well, that's just a motion to suppress. Has that been addressed?
No, Your Honor.
All right.
Motion's been addressed.
All right. And looks like this is, so y'all want to put it on a motions calendar with the division judge?
Yes, motions.
All right, who's the division judge in this
Richardson,
case?
I believe.
Richardson?
I'm not certain. We never had a court date.
Okay,
F.
yeah. Okay, it goes to Judge Richardson to be placed on the motions calendar. Do we have the judges' calendars, Ms. Smith?
No, Your Honor.
Okay.
That would be overlapping.
All right. Lorenzo Levine is reset to Judge Eric Richardson on whatever motions calendar the judge has. I'm not privy to those dates. So anything else, counsel?
No, Judge.
All right, you're free to go.
Thank you, Your Honor.
All right, Mr. Rhodes, you'll be conferring with your set of cases. Miss Helen? All right, let's go through each of your PD cases where you believe that should be reset to Judge Mather or someone else.
Yes, Judge. Position number 3,
Okay.
Kendall Bass. There's been an entry appearance already by Public Defender Zachary Judge. And there was a plea and arraignment already in front of Judge Porter on June 17th of this year.
All right. Position
3.
3, I'm looking it up right now.
Okay.
Oh my God, it's already the 26th of July? Where did the month go?
Okay.
You know. I don't see a new court date.
For Mr. Judge, no, the previous court dates were June 17th as well as entry of appearance June 18th.
Yeah, June 17th, waived jury trial. Discovery was filed. Today is here for a final plea. So where's Mr. Kendall Bass? Kendall Bass?
And Judge, I'm not really sure about the notifications for this court date.
Why are you not sure?
If they appeared for the June 18th in front of Judge Porter, I don't know why they're not here for
Then,
this court
yeah,
date.
that's why we do a report to DDS and we find out.
Understood, Judge.
Okay. What's the other case you want me to address?
The next one, Judge, is position position 10, Mr. Hambry. I'm writing down from my notes, that should be Public Defender Ms. Cook and Mrs. Armstrong. I'm going to give him their email addresses and phone numbers to contact them.
Where is
Mr.
Mr. Hembry? Yeah, that's
Go ahead,
fine.
stand up. He's here in court, Judge.
All right, Mr. Hembry is set for arraignment on August 27th at 2 p.m. Unless he wants an opportunity to resolve his case today, then the PD would have to be here today. Who's the PD? Cook.
Yes,
Keith
Judge,
Cook?
that's what I have. Who's assigned to Judge Taylor.
All right. Mr. Hembry, right now, since you're represented by the Public Defender's Office, you will need your attorney here to speak to the prosecutor. So that would be your opportunity at 2 p.m. in courtroom 3E. You got a pen, you got a phone where you can put that in? Okay. Courtroom 3E on August 27, 2024. Your attorney's name is Keith Cook. You're free to go. And he's got a date of August 27th, 24. 2 p.m. Attorney is Keith Cook. Wait, who's your next case?
Positions 13 and 14, Logan. Judge, Public Defender Anna Wright has already entered an appearance, I believe, June 2nd, 2024, in front of Judge Roth. Ms. Wright has already been in contact with myself and Mr. Haddad. She's requesting that these go back to the division so that she can resolve them together.
I don't have a reset date. That's nothing. Lady Ladale Logan needs to be here.
And Your Honor, on July 2nd, 2024, a plea of not guilty was entered at plea and arraignment and case to next calendar. This is the next calendar.
Okay. Be very helpful if Miss Wright will get in touch with her client right away. And who's the next case?
Judge, position 19,
Antonio
Navarrete.
Navarrete, not here?
No, Judge, but there was a plea and arraignment, April 8th, in front of Judge Mather. Mr. Coleman has been in contact with us. He's asking again that go back in front of Judge Mather so that they can resolve it there.
Okay. He needs to be here. This was the next calendar. All right, thank you. Next one. Is that,
And then we already discussed position 23, but I think that's being transferred back to Judge Edie with the companion
Correct.
case.
that one's very brief. All right,
And
so,
Judge, those are all the public defender cases.
thank you. Ms. Smith, position number 20 is reset to September 10th, or was it 10th or 18th? Yeah.
9/10.
9/10 at 9 a.m. That's a LOA filed.
That's for position 29.
Yes. All right, so let me know what's the result of any conference that you have. All right, the folks who are waiting in the courtroom, if you're not represented by counsel, I'll give you a chance to speak to the prosecutor. Otherwise, after that, I'll let you know your options. Okay,
And Judge, is there anyone here applying for the public defender's office?
you can stand up, make your announcement.
Sure. If anyone here is requesting the assistance of the public defender's office, I do have an application for you to fill out. So we can see if you qualify. Is that anyone? Does it look like it, Judge?
Okay.
So what did I do about yourself? What it is. Right.
Your Honor, we do have an announcement on position 30. Just remain Williams.
Okay,
The state received the video yesterday. I'm not having an opportunity to send that over to Ms. Mormon. She would like to look at the video prior to proceeding with her comment. It was asked for a reset, which the state doesn't object to given the fact that we received the video.
next citation calendar?
September 10th
Yeah,
at 9 a.m. That's fine for me.
all right.
And if you're speaking on it,
All right, Ms. Moore, thank you very much. Case is reset.
yes. Well, yes.
I didn't have your food alignment for that one position, but if you give me any of the other ones that are possible. Here's what I'll- Here. I can start bringing up the other one.
Oh, who? No, just lazy to me. Very lazy. I know. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to be in recess while everyone gets a chance to speak to the prosecutor. And then I will resume as soon as they are ready. Deputy, would you be able to go with me down to my car or should I just need to go and get some documents.
Okay, let me get somebody.
Otherwise I can do it alone, but there are folks out there.
Right, this one is 50, so you get just. It's right up under on the right here. Once he has. So once he sees that, I'll find once he's approved, we'll go not for it. So the one. The attachment. Let me just take a real quick look at his history. So that you can have your screen.
The answer is probably yes, unless I open this, just to get the response of nonsense. It should be.
Can I ask the judge? What
Oh, she.
It's not great, but I mean.
She should be better.
Okay.
Sure.
I'm coming to get that.
The plug is plugged in.
That's what he asked, was it?
The power button is right there. There you go.
It was going slow.
It was going sometime.
It was going slow. Thank you.
Don't breathe, they get a follow.
Johnny McDonald. Realize you were here on my side. Okay, so I'm just gonna do like, if you were in charge, breakfast drive, driving lane drag. So this is the November. Recommendation by 12 months probation, $500 fine, 40 hours of community service, 15. Things that impact people. Like count two is if the lead drag would be the 12 months probation, $500 fine. We're gonna run that consecutive to. So you can. whatever, you could terminate after 12 months if you successfully complete the conditions. So that means if you've done if you paid $1,000 in fines, 40 hours for the service, and if it's a driving course and you victim impact now after 12 months, you can go for probation. Is that something you'd be interested in? Okay. So we go ahead and have the report printed or the paperwork, I'll turn it out for you. So this is. Position 16.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yeah.
What's going on still? Thank you so much.
Page 5, print out forms. Page 5, it's the number 6 and number 7. Then arraignment is your statement.
Fast, or the undeserving, or. Before you could not keep faster.
So at this point, I can tell you we're not agreeing to that. So if you guys want to go forward to this.
I don't know about that stuff.
You did one. Like the date that was used. I don't know, July 16th, I don't know, 24 still. We should have. It was e-filed.
Oh.
So you would have a e-file, yeah. Okay. Let me just double check, it looks like.
Was it off the officer?
Not at this moment. So yeah, it looks like. Yeah, it looks like all of them serve, and if you were the attorney on record on the case, it gets filed to. It gets.
I haven't worked there.
So see, okay, yeah, but it's transferred in error. So that was. The other option is. We may want to talk to their office. There is a orientation. It's only one.
I'm sorry, we have two position 16 and position
So that is. It is, I'm not saying I will,
Position
I'm saying.
21.
Deputy Chief Rosen's right here in the front program, if they give you a conversation. Yeah, and I'll let them know. Okay, all right. Oh, okay, so then this is Judge Law. It would take.
Are we sending them up to the finance office to pay today?
Pardon?
Are we gonna be sending them up to the finance office to pay today?
Yes. If they're able to, yes.
So go ahead and put that fine in. I have it already.
Deontay Rowe?
Yeah, the tickets, the small. tickets, you have the fine on it?
Oh, no. Thank you. Second recommendation in 10 days of jail suspended. So it would dispose of it, that is correct. Okay. So. No.
You guys get the thing.
I was right. I wasn't doing this.
Mm-mm. Mm-mm.
You sound like.
Mm-mm.
Okay, so.
Well, you just need to communicate that authority. Conservation right here. You just gotta see it. I'll look for it. All right, thank you.
Mr. Position number 4, Jackie's Bob Bastion. He wants you to separate. He's in the system. He's here. So, I don't mind. We can do it.
Gotta ask the judge.
I would do it. I don't, since he showed up, I don't mind doing a consent to
This bench warrant was issued back with the division and I'm thinking this case, I had looked over it and it was dormant, but it was never issued.
it was never issued.
So
Okay.
it's showing he has one, but technically it hasn't been processed by the sheriff's
Because it
office.
hasn't been spurred.
Correct.
Gotcha. Okay. We may have to do
That the one that you're demographics. Correct, but I can't remove anything from the.
From that division.
Then
Gotcha.
I don't, if I start.
I know, messing with around.
It's Judge
there.
Porter. I'll reach out to Raquel Pope to get her to do a motion to set aside of the bench warrant.
Yeah,
Raquel.
I mean, you guys probably asked for the bench warrant, so it's okay for you to judge law, and then we can, at this, we can go ahead and set it aside
Okay.
with that, with her.
Okay, that'll work. Can you send me the Zoom link so I can talk to the attorney on Zoom? He's the only one who's on my list, who's on the Zoom call.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, I appreciate it.
So you're gonna tell Evan to put you in a breakout?
If you don't mind, that would be lovely.
It's coming, I gotta go.
And let me just double check while you're doing that. There was no response on position 25 and 26, correct? After she go shop at pizza and mileage convert.
That timing. No response. And neither one of them have an attorney assigned to them, 25 and 26, and no response. We haven't had.
I just wanted to double check. That's what I had in my notes and I wanted to make sure I wasn't.
Yes. Attorney Form, you have to join Zoom for them to see. I'll get ready to send it to her now.
Thank you.
She has the link. Okay. You called the attorney, Sean. Okay, he's gone. Okay. Thank you.
Cool, to go in order.
Thank you. Good morning. Please be seated. Please be seated. Thank you.
Yeah.
Please be seated. Thank you. All right. Anything to announce, Ms. Fall?
Yes.
Ms. Castillo?
Yes, Your Honor. We're prepared to go forward on a plea on position 21.
Right?
And I do have and the defendant would like to speak with the court on position 22 after we address position 21. So
All right.
we're gonna address position 21 first and then follow up position 22. So just in time.
Mr. Kessler, is there, there's no language barrier, right?
No.
Okay, thank you. This is State versus Jonathan Rivera, 22 CR 007-249, originally accused of racing, driving without a valid license, and a vehicle equipment issue exhaust system violation from December 9th, 2020. Mr. Rivera, you have a right to remain silent. Anything you say about the facts of the case, your statements can and will be used against you. You have a right to an attorney, and Mr. Kessler will be representing you. May I place you under oath for purposes of the plea? Do you solemnly swear and affirm the testimony you provide will be the truth to the best of your knowledge?
Yes, Your Honor.
Thank you. Ms. Falk, what's the recommendation?
Your Honor, state's recommendation is to count one is 12 months probation, 10 days in jail. We're suspending the 10 days upon payment of a $500 fine and proof of defensive driving force. Count two would be 10 days in jail, 12 months probation, served 10 days in jail, suspended upon payment of a $500 fine. Count three, we are entering a null cross. We have spoken with the defendant and agreed to terminate probation upon the completion of the defensive driving course and the payment of a $1,000 fine. We would ask the defense to stipulate to venue, factual basis, and identification for the purposes of this plea.
Mr. Rivera, your client is pleading guilty to racing and driving without a valid license.
Yes.
And how old is he?
22. 22.
22. You understand your driver's license will be suspended for the next 6 months and that you would have to apply for reinstatement.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. And you so stipulate, Mr. Kessler?
Yes.
Thank you. Mr. Rivera, have you consumed any medicine or alcohol?
Oh, no, Your Honor.
And have you understood everything that's going on in your case so far?
Yes, Your Honor.
And is anyone forcing you to enter such a plea?
No, Your Honor.
If you decide to enter this plea, you would have to give up your constitutional right to a trial. You will not be able to confront your accuser, challenge the evidence brought against you, be able to present your own defenses, arguments, and mitigating factors, as well as have the state carry its burden to prove the charges against you beyond a reasonable doubt. Are you prepared to give up these rights?
Yes, Your Honor.
How do you plead to 1 count of racing and 1 count of driving without a valid license?
Guilty.
The equipment violation matter will be null crossed, correct, Ms. Falk?
Yes, Your Honor, I am preparing the null cross right now. I just need to know who to send it to.
Ms. Essen Smith. And on the racing charge or conviction, your sentence is 12 months to serve 10 days. And you want him to be on probation?
Well, he is at this time not prepared to present the defensive driving course completion nor the $1,000 fine. So yes, he would just need to be on probation while he completes
Would you be
those
okay with the compliance dates? The probation?
conditions. We didn't have a compliance date available, and so that's why I offered probation. So if the court can give us a compliance date, we're fine with holding off on the probation and bringing it back to see those terms have been completed.
All right. The sentence is 12 months to serve 10 days, which will be suspended if the $500 fine is paid by September 10th, 2023. That will be your compliance date. In the event that he does not show proof that his $500 fine is paid off, then he'll be reporting to Fulton County Jail that day. In addition, will he be able to complete a defensive driving class? This is a 6-hour class that you can do in person or online. And it's about $95 to pay for the class. There are tons of schools out there that provide this program. And do you think it realistic that he'll be done by before September
So
10th?
get that done, Judge, yeah.
All right. So, Mr. Rivera, on September 10th, you need to come back with proof that you've paid off the fines for both charges and done your defensive driving class. That's $1,000.
All right, Your Honor.
All right. So because count 2 is basically 12 months to serve 10 days in jail, which will be suspended if the $500 fine is paid off. So we'll see you on September 10th with proof that you've paid your $1,000 fine and your defensive driving certificate, and your reset date is September 10th at 9 a.m.
Okay, sounds good. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Your Honor.
We'll see you then. Thank you.
And Judge, I just have one request for the public defender cases. Would you like me to send the Zoom link to those attorneys requesting that they appear this morning?
Yeah.
Sure.
Whichever is comfortable for them. Mr. Glanville will let them into the Zoom session.
Thank you, Judge.
Your Honor, position 22, Deontay Rowe. I did not realize he was represented by counsel when he came up and spoke with me. However, he would like to, he and his mother have indicated that they would like to proceed without counsel, but I told them that they would need to speak with the court about that. I could not speak with them.
Understood. Okay. Mr. Rowe, if you'd like to come up to the podium, sir. Right, it's a little messy, but I think I'm just leaving that note for me, so. Deontay Jacques, is it Jacques? Jacques Rowe, you're represented by counsel, Miss Andrea Boyd. Have you spoken with Miss Boyd anytime recently?
I tried to get in touch with her today, no answer. So not,
When was the last time you spoke with her?
believe the 23rd.
So that was earlier this week?
Yes.
And was she indicating she was going to be here?
She indicated that she put in a motion for continuation and that the court had the documents.
All right, let me see that. Right, Ms. Boyd filed an entry of appearance on July 23rd and a motion for continuance, which has not been granted. Let me see what's the continuance for.
Your Honor, if I could I just go ahead and continue without my attorney?
Yeah, I just want to make sure that, so if you decide to waive your right to counsel, then you are responsible for understanding the law and how it applies to the facts of your case. Because the law says that you have a right to remain silent about the facts of your case. Anything you just choose to share with the prosecution, your statements can and will be used against you. You have a right to an attorney. If you cannot afford one, or if you've already hired one, you have a right to be represented by counsel. This is a accused criminal misdemeanor case in which that if the case goes to trial and the prosecution proves the charges against you beyond a reasonable doubt, you could be looking at a penalty of up to $1,000 in fines and or up to a year in jail. Okay. So if you decide to waive your right to counsel and discuss your case with the prosecutor, then you are charged with knowing how the law applies to the facts of the case, how it applies to your particular circumstances, to your driving history, to a possibility of getting your license suspended. Other possible things is how it may have a negative impact upon any other open cases that you have against you. So I cannot advise you on the correct path to take. I'm just letting you know the ramifications if you decide to choose to represent yourself. So the question I have to you is, you have the absolute right to waive your right to counsel, or you have the absolute right to have an attorney. What would you like to do?
I would like to waive my right to counsel.
Okay, in that case, then I will consider this a waiver of counsel, and you may proceed to speak with the prosecutor, given the cautions that I've already provided to you.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Your Honor, I have spoken
No.
with Mr. Rowe and communicated the offer, which is count 1, 10 days in jail, suspended upon payment of $500 fine. Count 2, 10 days in jail, suspended upon payment of $500 fine. Mr. Rowe has indicated that he is prepared to pay that fine today, and would be able to provide proof of payment, at which point the state would close out the case.
Okay. Do we have the plea paperwork all filled up?
And I just indicated that to the clerk as well, so if we could print out the paperwork for position 22.
Including
So-
waiver of counsel.
Right, so he can go ahead and sign up.
All right. Mr. Rowe, if you want to accept this plea offer, you would have to make sure that you fill out the plea paperwork, read all the rights that you will be waiving as a matter of law. And if you have any question about it, then, you can either address to the court or to Ms. Falk, since you waived your right to counsel. And then once I've got your completed and signed paperwork, then I can proceed with the plea.
Yes, Your Honor.
Including in that package of paperwork will also be a form regarding waiver of counsel. Please read that carefully.
Yes, Your Honor.
All right? All right, please have a seat and we'll give you the paperwork to sign very shortly. Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Any other matters at the present time?
No, Your Honor. If I may, I would like to join the Zoom to speak with Mr. McElhenney.
All right,
And that was I believe, the last case that I have to address.
other than the self-represented cases, okay. Are you already on a
I'm
separate?
about to join
Okay, go
the
ahead.
Zoom.
Okay,
Thank you.
Mr. Glanville?
Yes, Your Honor.
As soon as Ms. Falk joins the Zoom session, could you place her in a breakout session with attorney Sean McHilney?
Yes, ma'am.
I don't know if Mr. McHilney is out of the courtroom. He was he is. Okay. Oh, that's
I'm
that's
McKay
his
with his
assistant.
office. Yes,
Yes.
he's in the courtroom, but whenever the prosecutor gets on, I'll go grab him.
Okay, all right. Thank you, sir.
Yep.
And I'm
All right, Mr. Glanville, you can go ahead and place Ms. Falk's Zoom panel into a breakout. And Mr. McHelney's assistant, I'm sorry, sir, I didn't catch your name. Are they already both placed in a breakout? Excellent, thank you. All right, Ms. Helen, did you have any announcements?
No, Judge, I just have sent that email out requesting that those PDs click and appear. Other than that, Judge, I would ask to be excused.
All right. No, I mean, if you have no cases, I definitely don't want to keep you holding here. If you'd like a moment, just keep your phone on buzz.
Yeah, sure, that's what I was.
Okay. Otherwise, I definitely want you to start your weekend early.
I don't mind just waiting to see if you guys need me. I don't mind.
No. All right. Any announcements with regards to Mr. McKellen?
Your Honor, we are still in discussions regarding that case, and I will probably rejoin in the breakout room shortly, but I am having Mr. Rose sign this.
Okay.
paperwork.
Position 3, Kendall Bass, Attorney Zachary Judd.
Oh, there he is, yeah.
Yeah. Mr. Judd, good morning, sir.
Good morning, Your Honor.
I think it was Mr. Rhodes' case for the first. All right, where is your client? Zachary Kendall Jerome Bass.
Your Honor, I'm unsure. I did not know that Mr. Bass was even sent to ORCA. I don't see anything in Odyssey about him being transferred to ORCA. It looks as though we had an our entry of appearance was put in a little less than a month ago, and we were still waiting on a status update in Judge Porter's courtroom. Would it be possible to have Mr. Bass's case transferred back to the trial division?
No, he was sent notice to appear today.
Your Honor, unfortunately, I'm not sure where he is.
Okay,
I-
that's okay. The matter is going to be reported to DDS, and then of course, if he wants to, and we'll give him a new court date. Once he comes back and makes an appearance and lets us know where he is, and you can file a motion to set aside the suspension.
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, thank you. Did you have any other cases, Mr. Judd?
I think that was it, Your Honor.
All right, all right, Mr. Judd, have a great weekend. Thank you.
You as well.
Mr. Coleman? Attorney Daryl Coleman? This case
Good morning, Your
was.
Honor.
Morning, Mr. Coleman. Sorry to bother you, but you have a client, Antonio Navarrete, on our citation calendar final plea.
Yes.
And this
Um,
was, yes, sir.
That case is actually supposed to be in diversion.
Right, position 19. Hmm. Mr. Rhodes with the Solicitor General's office is checking into that status.
Yeah, there was no paperwork has been sent, but that was the discussion on the case the last time that he was in court.
Was he accepted into diversion? All right, question mark. Yes, sir.
We haven't received. So we found it, accept them.
Okay. Mr. Coleman, could you please reach out to your client and let him know that he was required to fill out the paperwork to be admitted into the diversion program? And so at the present time, we don't have anything to that effect.
I'll do that. I'll check my because I'm not in my office today. I'll check my file to see if there was paperwork sent.
All right. And right now, the matter is reported to DDS. And if he contacts you, y'all can request to set aside the suspension.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you. And Mr. Coleman, did you have any other cases with me this morning? I think that was the only one.
That's correct, Judge.
Yeah. Oh, Miss Helen. Okay. Yeah. All right, Mr. Coleman. You have a great weekend.
Yes, thank you. Have a good
Right.
weekend.
You too. All right, Miss Helen, you've done your due diligence. Thank you so much.
We
for
have one person applying, so I'm gonna
Oh,
stay for that.
I see. Okay. All right. Thank you, Mr. Coleman. Mr. Judd, you're free to go.
Thank you. Have a good weekend.
You too. Are there any announcements at the present time? No? Okay.
No, Your Honor, not at present.
All right, Mr. Glanville will be on hold. Go ahead, Ms. Helen.
For position 10, number 10, Garrett Hembry, I've contacted the public defender who took that application. He did not apply or qualify. I apologize.
All right, thank you. Yes, Mr. Hembry?
He left because he said he had a public defender and
Well, he's got a case on August 27th, so I guess Judge Taylor will let him know.
understood, Judge.
All right, thank you. All right, this is State versus Deontay Jaquez Rowe, case number 24 CR 2570Y. Mr. Rowe has been advised of his constitutional rights. He has waived his right to counsel, and he has signed the appropriate form with regards to his waiver of counsel. Mr. Rowe, may I place you under oath for purposes of the plea? Do you solemnly swear and affirm the testimony you provide will be the truth to the best of your knowledge?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, and I understand from the state that we'll reiterate the terms, Ms. Falk.
Yes, Your Honor, the state's recommendation on this was 10 days to serve, suspended upon the payment of a $500 fine. On count 2, the state's recommendation was 10 days to serve, suspended upon the payment of a $500 fine. Mr. Rowe has indicated he is prepared to pay the $1,000 fine substantial. That would include fines and the fees as well associated with that. Just to put a little bit of facts on the record, this happened May 2nd of 2024. The defendant was driving a 2012 BMW 328i, failed to obey a traffic control device by not stopping, coming to a stop behind the stop bar. Additionally, the defendant was charged with racing. He was going in the right travel lane of Medlock Bridge Road and River Park Drive and was going approximately 95 miles per hour in a 45 mile per hour zone. He was racing a 2023 Dodge Charger on State Bridge Road at the time. And that was the basis for both the remaining charges.
Mr. Rowe, do you agree with the terms of the offer as presented by the prosecution?
Yes, but I would like to ask the court if I could plead non-contendere. Because.
No contest?
Yes.
All right, does he qualify for a no contest?
Your Honor, the state would normally object on a no contest on a racing, but yes, he does qualify.
All right, I'll accept the no contest on the failure to obey signs or control devices, but the court's not inclined on the racing given the egregious circumstances as articulated by the state.
Yes.
So it would have to be a guilty on the racing and a no contest on the failure to obey signs. Is that something that, sir, if you don't agree with that, then you have a right to go to trial.
No, I agree with that.
Okay. Mr. Rowe, if you accept the plea offer from the prosecution, you would have to agree that the factual basis as just allocated or narrated by Ms. Falk is true and correct.
That's true.
And do you agree that you are the correct defendant in this case?
Yes, Your Honor.
And the appropriate venue in this case is Fulton County?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. With regards to this particular plea, have you consumed any medication or alcohol?
No, Your Honor.
And have you understood the proceedings so far?
Yes, Your Honor.
And you have waived your right to counsel?
Yes, Your Honor.
You've read through the waiver of rights and you agree with those terms?
Yes.
Okay. If you also decide to, since you've already read through the forms, you understand that if you enter this plea, you would have to give up your constitutional right to a trial in front of a judge or a jury. You will not have the opportunity to confront your accuser, challenge the evidence brought against you, to be able to have the assistance of counsel to go to court, present your defenses, your arguments, mitigating factors if you choose to do so, and have the prosecution carry its burden to prove the charges against you beyond a reasonable doubt. Are you prepared to give up these rights?
Yes, Your Honor.
You understand that the pleading in such a manner will add points to your driving history, with the exception of the charge in which you plead nolo contendere.
Yes, Your Honor.
How do you plead to failure to obey signs or control devices?
Non-compete.
No contest.
Okay.
Is that what you said?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. Non-compete is different, but okay.
Sorry.
And how do you plead to one count of racing?
Guilty.
I accept your guilty plea to the racing and the nolo contendere to the failure to obey signs or control devices. Your fine on each count is going to be $500 in lieu of a 10 days in jail. I understand from the state that you will be paying the fine today.
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. You would need to go up to the clerk's office and they will give you instructions on how and where to pay your fine today. and then you need to return to the courtroom to show proof of fine payment. Once the proof has been submitted, then we will not pursue the jail time. Otherwise, I'll have to direct you to a compliance date.
Yes, Your Honor.
So, Ms. Smith, will we be able to give him the instructions now?
Sorry, Your Honor, I just asked for a waiver of counsel.
Oh, go ahead, take
on
it.
This case.
He's already filled it out.
No, Mr. McDonald's case.
I see.
He was about to enter a plea, but I believe that, yes, we can give him the instructions for how to go to the clerk's office and make payment to that.
Okay. All right, it's right here, and then as soon as you take it's upstairs on the first floor, it's either J150 or J150, correct, Ms. Smith?
What does that say?
It's over at,
Down upstairs, over by administration, court administration.
J 16 G600.
Which is in the,
The treasury office is in
Oh.
the next building.
okay, so you got the instructions, and have you updated the case to indicate the $1,000 fine?
I'm doing it now.
Ms.
Your Honor.
Smith is.
Okay, I just want to make sure the case is updated so that when you show up in front of the teller, it's there.
Okay.
They won't look at you like, what you talking about, okay?
Yes.
All right, have a seat right here, sir, and we will give you the form very shortly.
Thank you.
Miss Anna Wright, good morning.
Good morning, Your Honor.
All right. Yes, ma'am. Miss Helen, I think, reached out to you with regards to a particular case. Could you remind me of your client's name again, please?
Last name is Logan, Your Honor.
Okay, thank you. All right.
So if I could interject, I think counsel is waiting for you to join in the breakout room, if you
Right.
guys were still discussing.
So we just need to address Mr. Logan.
All right.
This is-
She'll be with you just send a message to Mr. McKilney. She'll be there very shortly. Thank you, Mr. Glanville. All right, this is Ladell Treshawn Logan was supposed to report to court today on two separate traffic matters. One is for one count of racing, the other one's failure to maintain lane. Any clue where Mr. Logan is?
No, Your Honor, I have not spoken to Mr. Logan. I don't have discovery on this case. My information on both of these cases is very, very limited to just he qualified for counsel. And I have a very bare bones file.
No problem. We're going to report this to DDS for a possible suspension, and as soon as he reaches out to you, let him know so that y'all can file a motion to set aside and we can place him back on the calendar. Okay?
No, well, 1 second. So why would it be suspended?
Because he's noticed for this calendar to appear, he's under an obligation to keep up with his attorney, and failure to appear without any information is grounds for a reporting.
Thank you, Your Honor.
All right. Thank you, Ms. Wright. You have a great weekend.
You as well.
All right, Ms. Falk, do you know how to go back into the breakout? Okay, thank you.
I was just checking, making sure Mr. McDonald is signing the complete paperwork, and I will go talk to the attorney about Mr. Stokes.
Okay, thank you so much. Let me see. And this is the paperwork for Mr. Rhodes. And I'm sorry, here's another page. All right, which case, do you have an announcement?
For position 15, Judge, Mr. Lopez does qualify. I have his application. However, with the charges that he has today, it's nothing he can resolve today or accept the plea in, Judge. We're asking for this to be reset to the next available division court date or
I have a reset to final plea calendar on September 10th.
we're gonna need more time than that, Judge, because I also want the public defender to go over his videos with him before he can accept.
Do y'all
it.
have his videos?
We do not, Judge.
me
I haven't made an entry in his case.
What's our next court date on citation?
Master CIT jury trial calendar, Your Honor,
That is,
in September,
no, that's two.
go to calendar for CIT.
Do you have another one?
I'll go to the CIT calendar.
I'm going to reset it to division once the case is ready for trial. So right now, we're still in the preliminary stages.
And he'll be notified, I guess, at the last address about that court date, Judge. He'll be notified.
Was he notified in this case?
Yes, you got notice of this? Okay.
Any change in your address or contact information?
No.
Okay.
Your Honor, we have citation calendar for August 27th.
Hmm.
We have citation only for August 29th. We have citation for September 3rd. And citation for September 5th.
And then September 10th.
Yes, Your Honor, September 10th, you'll have 6 going forward on citation only, plus your jury trial, plus the other cases you placed on the calendar.
All right, I guess y'all need to put a accelerated pace in this one. Case is reset to September 10th at 9 a.m.
Understood, Judge.
And it's going to be for final plea or arraignment.
Understood, Judge. Final plea and arraignment. Okay.
Okay, so Mr. Lopez, the public defender's office is going to review your application and see if you qualify. And as soon as you find out that you qualify, then you need to be back in court on September 10th to address your case with the public defense. Between now and September 10th, make sure that you make yourself available to sit down with the public defense attorney to go over any information that they have about your case. So you need to work diligently to get this resolved, right? Now, if the public defender's office says that you do not qualify, as soon as you find out, you need to go and hire an attorney to represent you and come back to court on September 10th. Whichever attorney you hire, that attorney must be available on September 10th.
Yes, ma'am.
Otherwise, you have a right to represent yourself. That's entirely up to you. Do you have any questions? Howard, you're reset. You're free to go.
Thank you, Judge.
Have we already addressed all the cases on Zoom?
Yes, Your Honor, there's,
Okay.
the attorney, is just waiting for me on the, not recall the position.
A McIlney's case. Okay, no problem. Okay.
On this case, I'm just doing his, bench warrant.
Okay, Mr. McDonald, okay, shall I proceed while you're doing that?
Yes.
Okay.
I'm ready.
This is State versus Johnny Ezel McDonald, accused of reckless driving and driving in a circular or zigzag course, lane drag from January 31st, 2020. Mr. McDonald, you have the right to remain silent about the facts of the case. You have anything you choose to say, your statements can and will be used against you. You have a right to an attorney, and it appears that you are choosing to move forward self-represented. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. although you do have a right to an attorney, if you choose to represent yourself, you are responsible for understanding the law as it applies to the facts of your case. You're responsible for understanding the ramifications of entering a plea to the charges that are before you, as well as the consequences. And I understand that you've already read the waiver of counsel paragraph. Do you have any questions?
No.
All right, so I'll accept your waiver of counsel and for you to proceed pro se. With regard to this plea, may I place you under oath? Do you solemnly swear and affirm the testimony you provide will be the truth to the best of your knowledge?
Yes, Your Honor.
Thank you. Ms. Falk?
Yes, Your Honor. One, the reckless driving, the state's recommendation is 12 months probation, a $500 fine, 40 hours of community service, a defensive driving course, and 1 victim impact panel. Count 2, the lane drag would be 12 months probation, a $500 fine. That is to run consecutive to count 1 and terminate upon completion and successful completion of the conditions. And so we would ask that the termination happen after 12 months if the defendant has successfully paid the $1,000 in fines, completed 40 hours of community service, had defensive driving course, and completed 1 victim impact panel. I did communicate that to the defendant and upon entry of the plea. We are also entering a order to set aside and vacate the bench warrant on CR 006622E, but I do want to state on the record that is not predicated upon taking the plea today.
Okay. Mr. McDonald, if you decide to move forward with this case, or did you want to allocute the alleged facts?
If I may do so while speaking, it's just zero.
Go ahead. Yeah.
On January 31st, 2020, at approximately 10:32 p.m., officers were at the cookout at 1147 Hayes Bridge Road. While they were pulling out, they could hear a vehicle with an aftermarket exhaust running loudly. The officer observed an Infiniti G35, heard it revving its motor, observed approximately 15 to 20 people standing within close proximity. A large number of people appeared to be pulling out cell phones to record it. The defendant was moving in a circular course, turning 180 degrees, coming within a few of the onlookers, which was doing so in a reckless manner. At that point, the officer did activate his emergency equipment, stopped the vehicle, and took into custody the defendant, Mr. Johnny McDonald, who's the operator of the vehicle.
Mr. McDonald, you've heard the narrative that's been stated by the prosecution. Do you agree with the factual basis as asserted by the prosecution?
Yes, I agree.
Do you agree that the defendant is correctly yourself?
Yes, ma'am.
And do you agree that the proper venue for these charges is Fulton County, Georgia?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Have you consumed any medicine or alcohol recently? You need to speak up a little louder, okay? Because we're recording these proceedings. And have you understood the nature of your case?
Yes, ma'am.
Are you entering this plea freely, willingly, and voluntarily?
Yes, ma'am.
And is anyone forcing you to enter such a plea?
No, ma'am.
And you've read through the paperwork. You have freely, willingly, and voluntarily waiving your right to counsel.
Yes, ma'am.
And you've also read through the waiver of rights. Do you understand that by entering this plea, that you will not have an opportunity for a trial in this particular case?
Yes, ma'am.
You will not have the opportunity to confront your accuser, challenge the evidence brought against you, present any defenses, arguments, and mitigating factors if you choose to do so, as well as have the state carry its burden to prove the charges against you beyond a reasonable doubt. Are you prepared to give up all these rights?
Yes, ma'am.
How do you plead to 1 count of laying drag?
Guilty.
Excuse me?
Guilty.
And how do you plead to 1 count of reckless driving?
Guilty.
You understand that this will be up to 24 months of probation.
Yes, ma'am.
All right. So for the reckless driving, your sentence is 12 months to be served on probation. You will report to the probation office next Tuesday, which will be July 30th, before 3 p.m. And the probation office is located at 132 Mitchell Street in downtown Atlanta, which is adjoining this building. While you're on probation, you will pay a $500 fine for the reckless driving charge, and you will pay a $500 fine for the laying drag charge. For the both charges, you will do 40 hours of voluntary community service at any nonprofit agency that's not a church and not a school. So you can go to animal rescue, food banks, Goodwill, Salvation Army, but you can't do it at a religious organization or a school. And that would be 40 hours. Once you've completed your community service, the supervisor or supervisors must give you a letter with a company letterhead and signed by the supervisor in showing that you've completed a minimum of 40 hours, okay? You're also required to complete one defensive driving program, which is a 6-hour online or in-person program. And you need to get your certificate and present that to your probation officer. You're also to attend and complete one victim impact panel, and that's an online program that the probation officer will provide you with the information. For the lane drag, that will be 12 months consecutive to count one. And you will be, once you've completed the first 12 months, where you will have to report every month, then starting your second set of 12 months of probation, if all the conditions have been completed, then probation is authorized to terminate that probation. All right? Do you have any questions?
I do want to ask, my probation, can it be closer to my house or do I have to come like here?
Where is house?
Alpharetta, Georgia.
No, I make that commute every day, so it's not a long commute.
All right, cool.
All right?
Yeah.
So, and you're only required to report once a month. I do it every day.
All right.
All right? So, anything else?
No, that's it.
Okay. We will see, don't forget your probation date. Now you have to fill out that form for probation and we can give you a copy, so we'll have all the information where your probation office is and all that.
Okay.
Thank you.
And Judge, I do have one announcement. Can you check the CR case on his companion case?
Yes, it is 22 CR 006622.
Judge, I do have his application and unfortunately he does not qualify for our services.
Okay. That's all you need to know. Tell me. Thank you. Mr. McDonald, please stand up. You know you have another case involving hit and run and one other charge. Okay. The state has agreed to set aside the bench warrant. And that case is going to be reset to, who is the division judge? E.
Yeah, with the Judge Morrison.
Okay. That case is going to be reset to Judge Jane Morrison. You will have to make sure that your address is current in that case and you show up for court in that case. Because if you don't show up, the judge is just simply going to issue another bench warrant. Today, the deputy marshals are all here prepared to take you in. So please avoid that from happening, right? Make sure you show up for court before Judge Morrison. And make sure that if you still want to represent yourself, that you're prepared to address that case. Otherwise, please hire an attorney because you do not qualify for the services of the Public Defender's Office. All right? Thank you. Counsel, are you ready or
I'm hoping so, Judge. I'm hoping I'll get an announcement from
Mr. Rhodes?
Yeah, we are really close to the resolution in that case, and we are already on the plea here, position number one. I'm pulling the case up and turning it.
Okay.
Holding me hostage, Judge.
And Judge, were there any other parties waiting to talk to a public defender or apply?
Yeah, Mr. Glanville, could you please place Mr. McKelney back in the breakout session? And Mr. McKelney, I think Ms. Falk will be getting back with you shortly. All right.
Oh, Judge, I just wanted to say, can I be excused if no one else is?
Are you
requesting?
absolutely
Okay.
sure? If you're absolutely sure, you're free to go.
Thank you, Judge.
I don't want you to keep boomeranging back here.
I don't
Yeah.
mind.
All right. Preston Andrews? Where is he? Yes, sir, if you'd like to come forward to the podium. Is this a pro se matter?
It is, John.
Right, before we proceed, he needs to fill out the waiver of counsel. It's real quick. Mr. Andrews, we're gonna give you another form. This is regarding your waiver of counsel. Please read that very carefully. And it's only the top half, it's not the middle paragraph.
right.
Do we have his waiver of counsel? Yeah.
Just it.
Oh, yes. Right. All right, we are addressing Preston Andrews, case 24 CR 002212G. Mr. Andrews has got 8 separate misdemeanor charges on the original accusation. Driving under the influence of alcohol less safe, driving under the influence of alcohol per se, reckless driving, racing, speeding, operating a vehicle on the wrong way of street, failure to maintain lane or improper lane change, and misdemeanor possession of marijuana. With regards to all 8 counts on your accusation, Mr. Preston, Mr. Andrews, you have a right to remain silent. Anything you say in open court, your statements can and will be used against you. You have a right to an attorney, and pursuant to your representation, you want to proceed pro se. You understand, as you've already read through the paragraph, that if you choose to represent yourself, you're responsible for understanding how the law applies to the facts of your case, and that you're responsible for the legal consequences of proceeding self-represented, which can include the suspension of your driver's license, as well as probation revocation if you fail to comply, ending up being in serving out the rest of the time in jail, and can also include a negative impact upon any other open cases that you may have.
Oh.
Are you freely, willingly, and voluntarily waiving your right to counsel?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. For purposes of this plea, could you please raise your right hand? Do you solemnly swear and affirm the testimony you provide will be the truth to the best of your knowledge?
I do.
Thank you. Ms. Mr. Rhodes. Which charges are we proceeding with?
Counts 2 and counts 4, yeah.
Count 2 and count 4, which is DUI per se, and count 4 was racing. Oh, excuse me, DUI per se and racing, yeah. And what are we doing with the remainder of the 6 charges?
We will be entering a ballot process.
Okay. So, Mr. Andrews, I understand that in your negotiation with the prosecution, they have agreed that you can proceed with the driving under the influence of alcohol per se. In other words, by law, that you are deemed to be a driver under the influence of alcohol, where your blood alcohol concentration was in excess of 0.08%.
Yes.
Would that be correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And you're also agreeing to proceed on the 1 count of racing.
Yes, ma'am.
And you understand that both these charges will add points to your driver's history and will result in a mandatory license suspension.
Yes, ma'am.
All right? And I'm going to require your license to be suspended for up to 12 months.
Yes, ma'am.
Do you understand?
Yes,
Do you still want to proceed?
yes.
All right, Mr. Rhodes, if you want to allocute the offer for DUI per se and racing.
Yes, Your Honor. Relates to counts 2 and counts 4, the state is recommending a consecutive sentence of 20 for a global of 24 months probation. First 24 hours to be served in custody. We've already done that. Risk reduction course. We're asking that he completes a victim impact panel. 40 hours of community service, alcohol drug evaluation and treatment. On counts 1, we're asking for a fine of $300. Count 2, same conditions as count 1, just a fine of $200 for a total of $500. And that is the global recommendation.
Okay,
We are asking that once he does complete all of the conditions, and we realize that we're asking for 24 months probation, but after the first 12 months, if he has completed, that the probation goes nominal.
all right, and would you briefly summarize the state's factual basis?
Yes, Your Honor. On April 30th, 2022, Officer Brand and Officer Ramsey, while on patrol on 85 southbound near Buford Highway, observed a blue Toyota Camry at a visually estimated speed of 120 miles per hour and a marked zone 55 miles per hour. And they clocked another vehicle at 121 miles per hour in a 55 mile per hour. They observed a dark in color SUV racing with the Toyota Camry in a competitive manner, and radioed ahead to Officer Ramsey, who was further southbound where the vehicles were approaching. Officer Ramsey picked up a visual on the Toyota Camry and kept eyes on it. He got behind that vehicle, upon which the Toyota began to slow down to around 60 miles per hour. The other officer continued to have eyes on the SUV and attempted to catch up with it. He had to accelerate to up to 40 miles per hour to catch that vehicle. They made contact with the driver and advised who they were and the reason that they pulled the suspects over and asked for the suspect's driver's license. While speaking to the driver, they did detect an odor of alcohol beverage emitting from his breath, and they asked him where he was coming from. And my computer just died.
Mhm. No, the other way around. The DUI is 300, yeah. Mr. Rowe, do you have your fine confirmation?
It's right here.
Yes.
He gave it to me.
He gave it to you? All right, sir, you can have this document back. Your case is closed. You're free to go. Thank you.
Your Honor, did he know his license is still being suspended? I believe she said that. Okay. You can ask.
What was that?
About his license being suspended.
Who? Mr. Rowe? This is license? Oh, okay, let me see. Yeah. Yeah, you pled to racing, right?
Yes.
Guilty to racing? Yeah, that's a suspendable offense. So you would have to check with the Department of Driver Services when your license is ready for reinstatement.
Did I get a special permit to get to work?
No, sir, not for this one. That's why when I explained to you, I said that you're responsible for understanding the law, how it applies to the facts of your case, and that you're responsible for the legal consequences. So if you want to speak to the prosecutor, was it Ms. Falk?
Yes.
Okay, she's busy with another case. You're more than welcome to speak with her. All right?
John, do you know how long?
12 months. I think it's 6 months or 12 months.
It's 6 months.
6 months, sorry. Yeah, it's racing. Then, yes, ma'am, yes. And the allocutions of facts, I would suspend it for 12 months, but it's 6 months. All right? Okay, I'm sorry, I have to get back to this case. Mr. Rhodes, how we are powered up? All right, so you were allocating that that as soon as he got pulled over, what happened?
While speaking to the driver, the officer did detect an odor of alcoholic beverage. They did ask him where he was coming from. He indicated that he was coming from the club and asked him how much he had to drink. He would stay and took a shot. They asked him to do field sobriety tests. He did submit to the field sobriety test. And they also asked him to do a Your Honor, I think this was a Intoxilator 9000. He did submit to the Intoxilator 9000, for which the results came back at 0.157 on the first sample and a 0.156 on the second sample. It's almost twice the legal. So he was placed, Mr. Andrews was placed under arrest and read implied consent. Of course, he did consent in the case, so that forms the basis for both the racing and the DUI per se.
Okay. Mr. Andrews, do you agree with the factual basis as asserted by the prosecution?
Yes, ma'am.
And do you agree that they have the correct defendant?
Yes, ma'am.
And that the proper location is Fulton County, Georgia?
Yes, ma'am.
Have you consumed any medicine or alcohol?
No, ma'am.
And have you understood what's been going on in your case so far?
Yes, ma'am.
And is anyone forcing you to take this plea offer today? Are you doing so freely, willingly, and knowingly?
Yes, ma'am.
And you understand that you waived your right to counsel and that you're responsible for all legal decisions today?
Yes, ma'am.
And you also understand that by entering this plea, you will not get an opportunity for a trial in your case.
Yes, ma'am.
You would have to waive your right to your right to trial, to confront your accuser, challenge the evidence brought against you, and have the state prove the charges against you beyond a reasonable doubt.
Yes, ma'am.
You're willing to waive these?
Yes, ma'am.
How do you plead to one count of driving under the influence of alcohol per se?
Guilty.
How do you plead to one count of racing?
Guilty.
This is a global sentence. In other words, it applies to both counts, and both of them would be served to get all the conditions would apply to both charges,
Okay.
with the exception of the fine and the term of probation.
Okay.
With regards to the DUI per se, it will be 12 months to serve 1 day in jail, credit for time served 1 day in jail. You don't have additional jail time.
Okay.
With regards to the racing, it will be 12 months probation consecutive.
Mhm.
In other words, you'll be on probation for a total of 24 months from today.
Okay.
All right. With regards to probation, you will report to probation next Tuesday, July 30th, before 3 p.m. We will have you fill out a probation form, so they'll be ready for your arrival. And probation office is located at 132 Mitchell Street in downtown Atlanta.
Okay.
The form will have the phone number and the address at the top.
All right.
Okay. You will report every day for the next 24 months. You'll be required to complete the following conditions, which is a risk reduction program. Which,
I already completed that class already.
do you have your certificate?
Yes, I have it in my email.
When was it completed?
Earlier this year.
Well, if it was completed in
I have-
listen very carefully. If it was completed in 2024,
Yeah.
then you need to print out the certificate and bring that to your probation officer.
Okay.
And that will be acceptable if it's the correct risk reduction program.
Yeah, it is, because I had took it down to DMV and they reinstated my license.
Well, it's going to be suspended again.
All right.
Do you understand?
Yeah.
But right now, all I'm telling you is that I will accept that risk reduction certificate.
Okay.
If you print it up,
Okay,
if it's the correct risk reduction program, it's got to be a minimum 6-hour program, I believe.
yeah,
And if it's acceptable to probation.
okay,
So all these elements have to be completed before it's acceptable to probation.
okay,
You're also required to attend one victim impact panel. You're to complete 40 hours of voluntary community service work, and that can be with any nonprofit agency that's not a church and not a school.
okay,
Make sure the agency gives you a letter with this letterhead signed by the supervisor, and it's 40 hours of community service that must be performed after today, nothing from before. Understood?
yes,
You're also to submit to an alcohol and drug evaluation, and this must be done within the next 30 days. And if the evaluator says that you must continue with any kind of treatment or counseling, then you're required to submit to that treatment and counseling at your expense. For the DUI case, you are to pay a $300 fine. For the racing, you're to pay a $200 fine. And you're required to report to probation every month for the first 12 months.
okay,
Once the first 12 months are completed, then you may continue to report, you shall continue to report for the second set of 12 months unless you have completed all these conditions. If probation confirms that you've completed all these conditions, then the second set of 12 months of probation will be non-reporting, which means that you won't have to report if you've completed all the conditions. But if you get arrested again, or you violate any other provisions of probation, then they can revoke your probation and have you serve out the next set of 12 months in jail.
okay.
Any questions?
No,
You understand your license will be suspended for up to 12 months?
yes,
All right. And then you qualify for reinstatement after 12 months?
Yeah.
Thank you. All right, there we go.
Doesn't have his license for him, so he doesn't fill this out.
No, he didn't ask for it. And he's not qualified for it. Have you finished? I'm not giving you a first offender permit. Okay, that's why I'm saying he didn't ask for it.
It's already suspended, so.
Is that your attorney? All right, just want to be sure. Thank you.
he has today to take the offer. He is trying to get his client on the Zoom.
Okay,
So that they can address that case.
I think he's still in the breakout.
He is, but I don't think his client has arrived yet.
Okay, we'll just hold. Thank you.
Judge Law, another individual's joined the Zoom.
Thank you, Mr. Glanville. All right, who is this individual on iPhone? Please unmute, identify yourself.
Hello, I'm Patrick Santos.
Okay,
Yeah, okay, so if he can be placed in the breakout with his attorney.
all right,
And I am leaving breakout so they can speak privately.
all right. Mr. Santos, you're going to see a message on your screen to join a breakout with your attorney, Mr. Sean McIlney.
Okay.
So while we're waiting on Mr. Santos, position number 1, Andrews, that was a plea. Position 2, Milan Arrington. All right, I think Ms. Kurt had asked for an excuse.
Yes, Your Honor. That's a PD, yes, Your Honor.
Okay. So I'm going to reset that to September 10th at 9 a.m. Position 3 is going to be, Kendall Bass has not responded, so that's going to be reported to DDS. And when I report these cases to DDS, they remain dormant. And until the defendant and or their attorney come back and ask for the case to be reinstated on a calendar. Okay. Position 4 is reset for a jury trial. Position 5, Lynetta Bruce is reset to September 10th at 9 a.m. for a possible final plea. Position 6, Carter West, and position 7, Malik Corbett, have not responded. Both matters are going to be reported to DDS. Position 8, D'Angelo Cruz, is closed. Position 9, Andrew Haley, has not reported. That matter is reported to DDS. Position 10, Mr. Hembry, does not qualify for the Public Defender's Office, so he's going to be addressing his case before Judge Taylor on August 27th at 2 p.m. Position 11, Devin Johnson, is reset to September 10th at 9 a.m. Position 12 is reset to a motions calendar with the Division F, whenever that may be. I think what was the attorney's name? Kevin Nunnally?
George Stein's.
That he's from the office of.
Right. George Stein's office.
Okay. Position 13 and 14, Liddell Logan has not announced presence, so the case is reported to DDS. Position 15, Hector Lopez is reset to the final plea calendar of September 10th, 9 a.m. Position 16, McDonald was a plea. Position, and his bench warrant has just been set aside in the other case. 17, Cordell McKeever has not responded, so that matter is reported to DDS. Position 18, Momin is reset to September 10th at 9 a.m. due to attorney conflict, and that was Mr. Scott Fortis. 19, Neverett is reported to DDS for failure to appear. 20, George Ramirez Torres is reset to September 10th at 9 a.m. Position 21, was that a plea? Okay. 22, Mr. Rowe is reset to, no, that was a plea as well, excuse me. Position 20, River Salos is transferred to Judge Edie for a jury trial along with his other cases. 24, Patrick Santos is reset to September 10th. Oh, that's on hold, sorry, that's on break. Yeah. 25 and 26 did not respond. Both matters are reported to DDS. 27 is reset to September 10th at 9 a.m. 28, that was Christopher Stokes, and that's reset to September 10th at 9 a.m. Position 29, Mr. Williams. No one showed up for that case. That's reported to DDS. Position 30, Tremaine Williams is reset to September 10th to review the video. And I think that was it. Okay, so we're just gonna hold on Miss Falk's remaining case.
That's all cross, spread it out.
Mr. McKelney, yes, is your client out of the breakout too?
He's not, Judge. I was just coming into the main room. I wasn't sure if we had been forgotten or what. So he's still in the breakout room.
Weren't you talking to him? Oh, he's out. Okay.
Okay.
So what would you like to do?
We're gonna enter a plea, Judge, to the reckless driving.
Okay. And I guess y'all need to fill out the paperwork.
So with respect to that, Judge, and I'm not driving, I've got a driver today. I'm driving back from South Georgia. So I'm not at my office. I don't have access to email. I've got it on my phone. And then my client does not have access to email. He's at work. This was the very first time this case has been on the calendar.
Oh, I was not a problem. I was going to either give you a couple of options. The first one is if you want to submit a plea in absentia.
Okay.
And direct that straight to Miss Sylvia Falk, or we can reset the case to September 10th at 9 a.m. That's also a final plea calendar.
Can we reset it to September 10th at 9 a.m. and he'll be able to finish some of these items as well too, Judge.
All right. So position 24 is reset to 9 a.m. final plea calendar. Mr. Santos, please work with your attorney to get the paperwork completed, and then we can take your plea over Zoom.
Thank you, Judge.
All right.
Thank you.
Mr. McKinley, I only see you in a car. If I know what brand it is, I can give you a different name than the Lincoln lawyer. So, or is it the Kia lawyer? The Hyundai?
The Hyundai lawyer.
The Hyundai?
Yes.
Yeah, not the Maserati or the no, okay.
Hyundai Genesis.
There you go.
Thanks, Judge.
The Genesis lawyer has a lot of religious ramifications. Okay.
Yeah.
All right, Mr. McKinley. We'll see you on
Thank you.
September 10th. Bye-bye.
All right.
Bye-bye. Thank you.
Oh, yes, I'm sorry, Mr. Santos, did you need to speak to your attorney?
No, I'm good. Thank you.
All right, you're free to go.
Thank you.
Thank
Bye-bye.
you. All right, Mr. Glanville, the calendar is concluded. Thank you.
Have a good weekend, Your Honor.
You too. Bye-bye.